When I go to Sacramento, I will pump up Sacramento.
Some say the news is fake. Others say it's real. These two don't have the time to check. Instead, Turner Sparks and Michael Ira Kaplan turn to comics stationed around the globe to be their eyewitness reporters so that you can know what's really going on. This is Lost in America.
Everybody, welcome to Lost in America, episode 237. My name's Turner Sparks.
And I'm Mike Kaplan.
You can find me at turnersparks.com. You can find me next weekend in Detroit, Michigan, doing 2 live shows, July 9th and 10th. Get tickets at turnersparks.com. Still a couple left. You can find Kaplan at Cap in America on all social media platforms. Kaplan, today we're talking about the Japanese Olympics. For once, we're not talking about like a dictator being overthrown.
We're taking a break from the coups and the elections of the world.
We've got listener fatigue. We realize it's set in.
Well, you can't have too many coups, or it's like, you have to balance. Coup, election.
So we're talking about the cluster F that is the Japanese Olympics. Japanese comedian Saku Yanagawa is joining us today. He'll be with us in just a minute to talk about that, Kaplan. But before we get to that, so next weekend, July 9th and 10th, I will be Detroit, Michigan. Get tickets now, everybody. And then July 31st, myself, Sir Michael Ira Kaplan, Dr. Andrea Jones-Roy, and Professor Andrew Heaton will be at Stand Up New York Comedy Club in New York City, July 31st, Saturday night show, 6 p.m., because we know we have an elderly audience. So you can go to bed early. We'll be done by 8 p.m.
A lot of boomers. The boomers love us.
You can still make your dinner reservation.
Yeah, make your show.
Come see us. We're doing a live version of our roundtable show that we put out every month or two over here. And we're all 4 of us are doing stand-up comedy. I do stand-up comedy every night. Kaplan does it once every 18 months. We're all doing it no matter what.
I'm glad you bring that up because I had a nightmare the other night. I woke up in a cold sweat because I had a dream that we were doing the live show. I was standing backstage, and you said to me, you're like, so how's your stand-up going to look? What do you got? Can you do a type something? And I said, oh, shit, I'm doing stand-up. Did I really promise that?
You forgot about it.
I forgot I was doing stand-up, so I was like running. I was like, let me go next. And I was like trying to go through my phone for bits I had.
Just random ideas.
Random ideas. I was gonna make it. I was like, I'll make a prop. I had a whole. I woke up in a real panic. So I was trying to figure out what I could use in the building to save myself to come in. I had an idea for a bit we could do instead. I'm like, why don't instead? So no, that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna do stand up. I'm gonna write stuff down ahead of time.
Well, every time you do it, you do great.
Thank you.
Every time
low
being
expectations.
Twice.
Yeah, 2 times. So now third time's where they get you, I think. So.
I will say it was a little long-winded one of those times, though, because you didn't know where the light was. But also someone didn't show up, right?
Someone did show up. I saved the whole show because I don't know what happens if no.
See, this is supply and demand. I'm not really the big draw here because I do comedy every single night.
I'm the Bitcoin. I'm the Ethereum here.
Miss you here. They have to wait 18 more months. They might be dead by then. We don't know what virus is around the corner.
That's how we should sell this. Before the next pandemic, you got to see my stand-up once.
At least see it once before you're dead.
Yeah.
Kaplan,
exactly.
now let's and also patreon.com. If you want to support this podcast, which we know you do, we need you. We got 52 people now. We love Sugar Brady. We love Denisov. We love Drew Frey. We love all these people. But we can't survive on them alone. So join the club. Join the crew.
Yeah.
Join the party. And maybe what we'll do is how about this? What if we record the audio, the stand-up? Because the stand-up from the live show, we're not putting out as Lost in America.
Mine has to be valuable. If we release that, there goes supply and demand.
What if we release it only to the Patreon subscribers?
Yeah, let's do it to the Patreons. I like that idea.
So if you can't make New York City and you want to hear Kaplan do stand-up, you want to hear my new material, you want to hear Dr. Andrea Jones-Roy, Professor Heaton, you got to go to patreon.com/Lost in America. And for $5 a month, you get that. And for $10, you get T-shirts. For $20, you get your own advertisement on this show. Dennis Owens, one of our $20 a month subscribers, has already given me a preview of his next ad. I'm very excited about it. He's laid out the next 2 months. His July ad and his
He's planning it.
Ad.
He's storyboarding it.
He is. I'll tell you, his August ad has to do with the NFL, getting ready for the NFL. It's just us talking about things that he likes. So
okay, I could do that. I mean, and we're doing great. I mean, first of all, I'm in Rockport, Massachusetts right now. The YouTube people see a different background. I got a lot of takes from this vacation that I'm going to be giving to the Patreon listeners. I'm at the world's fattest beach. There's a preview. And you last week you got lost. It was an old school Lost in America. You got lost in
super
Hasidic,
Jewish, super Jewish Brooklyn.
You were surrounded by the Hasids. You need to call me to ask you all the customs. I had to explain them to you. It was a great one.
I didn't know how to do it. Kaplan, it was like walking into a different country, these people.
In different times, in different years.
There were hats, there were beards, there was languages I didn't understand, signs
Letters
I couldn't read. And I went, where am I? And Kaplan said, you're still in Brooklyn. Settle down. And then we took a half an hour. We went through it. Many people are saying it's our best episode we've ever done. So that's
Many
exciting.
people.
Now let's get to today's episode,
Yes.
Kaplan. The Olympics are happening in Beijing. Here's what sorry, not Beijing. Excuse me.
Whoa.
Oh boy, I'm already canceled in Japan. The Japanese Olympics are happening, I believe, all over the country, right? Tokyo, but some events are all over the place, as far as I understand. And now they're questioning, is this the time to do it? Let me just read you some statistics. 10% of the country has been vaccinated. That means 90% have not been vaccinated.
I can't believe that stat, by the way. It's Japan. We look up to Japan that they get everything done better than us.
They seem
10%.
better than us at most things.
Their cars are way better than ours.
They're more
Cars and
professional.
video games.
Yeah.
So TVs, I don't know.
And their suits. They wear
their
good
suits.
suits. Business
Yeah.
suits. So 90% unvaccinated. The country has been locked off for a year to anyone from around the world. And now they're going to open it. They're opening the floodgates all at one time to people from 200 countries are flooding into Japan. Tens of thousands of people from around the world. It seems like not the best idea to be holding these. What do you think, Kaplan?
I mean, first off, no self-respecting citizen of a top country, which I consider Japan to be a top country, wants the Olympics in their country. Normal times. You know, you don't want it. It's bad for traffic. It's bad for.
Well, I forgot an extra stat that you bring me to that. So they did a poll recently. 80% of Japanese people do not want the Olympics to be happening.
That's what I was going to get. I would guess it was 75% before coronavirus. And the next nobody ever in New York City, I actually have an apartment because they were designated a spot of land where they were going to build an Olympic village if New York got the Olympics. And then everybody was so angry that we didn't get it. Luckily, I have an apartment. Nobody wants it. I'm sure. I was going to guess that. And with coronavirus. Definitely not.
I'm going to hard disagree with you there.
You want the Olympics in New York?
I'm not saying New York. You have this is a very American-centric take you have right now. I lived in China when they got the Beijing Olympics, and you couldn't find a single person that was not excited about this.
Yeah, well,
when you're in the United States, a country that gets the Olympics every 6 years, of course you don't want it, but a lot of countries do want it.
I think Japan is in America.
I'm going to say this 80% is mostly a coronavirus thing. That's where I stand. You don't. You stand on the other side.
Well,
That's
we'll ask
fine.
our guest.
We'll disagree on that. Yeah. 2 Ugandan athletes have already tested positive in Japan for coronavirus. So that's a bad sign. And on top of that, it doesn't seem fun. They have all these new rules that the people can't have sex with each other.
The whole point of the Olympics is to go over there and have sex with with an exotic sport. Like you're a basketball player, you find a fencer,
you go find
make
a
a baby
bowler or
who
something.
can do it all.
You do the whole thing, a fencer and a shot put guy.
I mean, how do you think they got the dream team together? How do you convince them to go to Barcelona?
Of course. You think Magic's going over there without that? I don't think so.
No.
We know his record. Anyway, so let's bring our guest. Fantastic. This is an amazing stat. He was picked as the Japanese Comedian of the Year in 2017 and 2018. And then he said, you know what? Enough. I'm moving. Or I don't know. He moved to America, I guess, 5 years ago. So
well, you quit on top. You don't want to. It's hard to win 3P. It's hard to 3P. We learned that.
That's when you go pro.
That's when you go pro.
Yeah, it's after 2 back-to-backs. Saku Yanagawa, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, I'm so good. Yeah, I listened to your stories really carefully, and they're all good.
Did we do it right? We say it right?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Because I know you've been in the U.S. for the past couple years. Have you been able to go home during the pandemic?
Well, actually, I published a book this year. Then I went back to Japan in March to promote my book.
Oh,
So, yeah, I was there for months.
for 4 months. Okay. And how was it difficult to get into Japan?
Well, as a Japanese, you know, as long as I do quarantine for 2 weeks,
Okay.
it's really easy for me to go back.
Because you're a
and get in.
citizen. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
not
yeah.
as easy as getting into America. There's no quarantine when you get here.
I mean, I should have done.
Oh,
so-
self-quarantine. Yeah, you should.
He was supposed to by law. I'm sure.
Self-quarantine. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
well, yeah, but it was voluntary. They weren't sticking you in a hotel. In Japan, did you stay in a hotel?
Well, actually, we should do it, but no one checks,
Oh,
if we are in the hotel or like with in my house. So
okay.
I
Nope.
think some people go around and go to the bar or something like that. I
Some
had
poli-
Taiwan is really strict compared to Japan.
Yeah, a lot of Asian countries you have to stay, and Australia, I know, you have to stay in a hotel that the government picks for you. Actually, I think Canada, they come and check as well. A lot of countries make you check. America doesn't really. It's all an honor system. It's like if you want to, you can. No one's going to check on you.
They call you on the phone in America. And
So
check.
what did people, oh, they call you. So
They
what
ask
did-
you where you are.
So when you were there, are people excited for the Olympics? Are they scared of the Olympics? What does it seem like?
Well, honestly, most of my friends didn't want to hold the Olympic Games this year, and I think most of people didn't want to do that.
Why
Is it-
not? Why don't they?
Actually, as you said, less than 10% of Japanese people get vaccinated, right? It's a worst in the G7 country. Also, like nowadays, the COVID case has risen, and it's also like a state of emergency right now.
Yeah.
So why should we do that?
What about? I guess let's start with the vaccines. So 10% of the country being vaccinated is surprising to Americans because we always
Me
think
too.
that Japanese are very careful. They're right, kind of do stuff ahead of what we do. As we were saying, why are people not getting vaccinated?
Well, I've been thinking why too, but I think even before COVID, Japanese people don't tend to get vaccinated for any kinds of disease.
Oh.
I heard it's really popular in America, but for example, like only few people get vaccinated for flu too.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
people
so
don't
one
trust the
hand
just-
is people don't get vaccinated. But what about, I mean, the coronavirus, this is more of an immediate issue that's affecting everyone in the whole world. I would think that people would take it more seriously, right? Well, what about like your family? Has your family and friends been vaccinated?
Yeah, my family got vaccinated just first dose because they're old.
Yeah.
But only, for example, over 70 can get vaccinated in some cities. Also, like in America, all we gotta do is to go to the Walgreens and
Yes.
So it's easy
You
to
get
get. It's
vaccinated
hard to get
easily.
vaccinated still in Japan, even if you want to.
yeah.
That's a good point.
But in Japan, it's just like vote. Voting for the Trump or Biden. We gotta get a letter and we bring it to the
Oh,
the
so it's
city
hard
hall
to.
or something like that.
It's hard to get vaccinated
Oh, well, it's kind
So-
of
Yeah,
like
the
how it
process is
was
so
to get
hard.
vaccinated for us. That's how I got
in like
vaccinated.
in like
February.
January, February. Yeah.
March. Like I read that it's Pfizer's what Pfizer has to do with Japan is give them the vaccine by the end of 2021.
Yeah.
So they're giving it to all these other countries first. And they're like, yeah, we'll get to Japan eventually. Because like in America, they had to get it to us by like whatever, the
Yeah.
beginning of 2021.
Exactly.
So has that been, is it hard to get vaccinated?
Actually, yeah, especially our younger generation like us. So even if we want to get vaccinated, it's really hard for us to find a place and find the chance to get vaccinated. So that's why some people are really afraid, but some people don't care anymore, and they go to the bar and they enjoy nightlife, even though the government said no.
Oh,
that's
so
the
yeah, what's
situation.
open? Are bars open?
Yeah, actually, it's prohibited to serve the alcohol after 7 p.m. in Japan. That's kind of crazy for me.
That's when COVID comes after
Happy
7.
hour is still okay.
yeah. But there are a lot of bars when I went back to Japan in March opened. Then
Like illegally,
then-
and people look
I
the other
mean,
way.
because actually that's the point. The government cannot order bars shut down. It's just like an advisory.
Oh, it's in it.
Yeah. So because of constitution, we can't do that. So
Wow.
that's why government kept I don't know, like begging to any single bar owners, like, yeah, please shut down for the country or nation. Yeah.
I mean, that's a great
so-
constitution that somewhere like number 5, we can't order
Thou
bars
shall make-
to be shut down.
The Fifth Amendment of Japan is "Thou shalt not make no law." Yeah, bridging the right to serve alcohol after 7.
Okay. And then what about, can you, because in some countries they kind of lock people in their homes at the height of the pandemic. I know that in 2020 Japan did pretty well with containing the vaccine, the virus.
So.
And then 2021 not so well.
Yeah. So when I was in America 2020, I thought, wow, Japan was a better country to go to be, because there were some shows, then I could get a stage time probably when I was there. But 2021, I don't know why, but I mean, people kind of gave up staying home, and then they kind of ignored the advisory from the government
in Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're home for a year, I like also this idea that Japan had it first in February and we didn't have it yet. We had it. We just didn't admit
know.
we had it. Yeah, we didn't know we had it.
Well,
we have friends who've got it in February of 2020.
But Japan had done a thing. I had been reading how they had like the 3 C's, where there was like, they were just telling people to avoid closed spaces, crowded spaces, and close contact. But yeah, they weren't closing things officially, and people, I guess, just listened for a while. But I guess over time they just stopped. They're like, we got to go out, we got to have a life.
Yeah.
Kind of like here.
Also, like in America, people can do work from home, something like that, right? But in Japan, because of, I don't know, like people believe that Japan has a good technology, like, good internet service or something. But the thing is, most of the workers, like businessmen, had to do commute in a packed train still. They couldn't be, home. So,
well, Japanese businessmen is like known
Yeah.
around the world.
I was gonna say, Japanese businessmen do not want to be home with the wife and kids. It's not a Japanese businessman way to
It's
live.
like what we know about Japanese businessmen. They wear a suit. They work from like 6 a.m. until midnight, and then they
hit the
drink
strip
from
club.
midnight until 6 a.m. and then they just go straight back to work.
Yeah, that's not the best yet.
When I was touring in Japan 5 or 6 years ago, I remember reading the newspaper one day, and it said, like, this revelation that Japan government is pushing this idea to take a drinking holiday for businessmen. And the drinking holiday, the whole idea was literally this. It was 1 day not drinking a week. And it was don't drink on Wednesdays. And they had all these doctors saying that, like, their life expectancy would increase by like 8 years if they all just took Wednesday off drinking.
Yeah, we call it kidney day off.
Did it pick up any steam or no?
Did it work? No. Did people do it?
I mean, some people do it, but in my case, I can't. I have to keep drinking.
You have to every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how your motor runs,
Yeah.
It's not natural.
So I could see that stay-at-home order is not working well with the Japanese businessman.
Yeah. They want.
I didn't think about that. Okay, so now the Olympics are happening. And as you said, I think we said it was $15 billion the Japanese government invested into the Olympics. And $3 billion of that has been in the past year. So really it was supposed to be $12 billion. And then because they had to delay it by a year. And then it's been extra $3 billion. I don't know what you're doing in the year that cost $3 billion. But what about this idea? I also read that a big reason why they don't want to cancel it is because the next Olympics, 2022, only a year from now, the Winter Olympics, is happening in China. And
that would look bad.
They don't want China. The government of Japan doesn't want China to be the first Olympics after the pandemic.
Oh.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that, but I don't think it's true. I mean, yeah, it's part of the reason the government, keep pushing to hold the Olympics But I don't know, like if the people can kind of stay away from the government right now. I mean, people, I don't know, like don't trust government right now in Japan. So if the government gives up and this cancel the Olympic, probably more people, the government lose more people, I guess. So it means the Olympics must go on.
Wait, so you're
That's the
saying
theory
that
too.
most people that you know, and as we've read, 80% of people don't want the Olympics to happen. But if the Olympics don't happen, people will still be upset. Is that what you mean?
Actually, yeah, because for example, like there are many big company who sponsors Olympic,
Yes.
right? So it's gonna be unbeneficial for them. Cancellation is really unbeneficial for them, right? They're gonna lose money, so that's why. Anyways, they think we gotta hold the games.
It's really like not a great situation. Like if
No.
you don't have the games, then that sucks. And if you do have it, the whole country, there might be a gigantic, not only country, worldwide outbreak of coronavirus.
Was there ever a
Because all these people, just that Cap, all these people now, not only do they get coronavirus in Japan, but they fly back to their own country at the end of it and give it all back to us.
Yeah. Also, we are not even sure if we can have audience or not.
Yes. Yeah. Kaplan, go ahead. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, I was gonna say, there was never a moment like where they were gonna have the Olympics somewhere else, right? So like it was your Tokyo or bust. So there's a lot of you don't want to let the world down though either. Like if they didn't have it in, everyone they would probably never get it back. No, don't you think? Like the way IOC works, all the corruption, they would have. I just feel like you had to do it. As much as I'm against it, I think they had to do it. Now that I think about it, so.
It was the first Olympics in history to be postponed. I read.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to happen in 2020. There has been one or two. Oh, Japan
World War
had one
II?
canceled.
Yeah,
Japan had one
yeah.
canceled in World War II. So this would be the second cancellation. You don't want to go through that. So the idea is postpone it a year. And so as you said, it's without fans. What are the rules now of the Olympics? There's no fans?
I mean, for example, there's only people who lives in Japan can join the stadium, but they're still discussing if they have an audience or not. But right now, so far, limited capacity, like 10,000 members, 10,000 audience. But in the opening ceremony, they will have 20,000 people. But the thing is that I don't know why, but IOC people and the VIP people don't get counted as a number.
Oh, really?
So basically, you can have 40,000 people.
So you can have 20,000 of the unwashed people. But the elites don't count as people. The IOC is the most corrupt institution in the world, is it not?
Worse than FIFA, I think, right? It's number one.
Every single Olympics, the IOC gets caught, like taking bribes. I mean, it happened with us. Remember Mitt Romney, the reason why we know him is because he came in to save the Utah Olympics. Like Utah paid billions of dollars to whoever in the IOC. And then Mitt Romney came in and he saved it, but ultimately Utah still got it. It wasn't like they didn't get the Olympics at the end. They just so the bribe worked. And the same thing happened with Japan. Japan bribed somebody in like 2012 or some government official bribed $200 million to the IOC. They got caught, but Japan still got the Olympics. Every time they get caught, they go, well, you caught us, but we're still doing it.
We won't do it again. If you give us this Olympics, we won't do it for the next one.
So like bribing works.
I'm pretty sure Japanese people are mad at the IOC for sure right now. Because one of the IOC members said the Tokyo Olympic would go ahead unless struck by Armageddon.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
The IOC, and they're like the biggest criminals here because I could understand the Japanese government saying, hey, listen, we have to have this. We've not only put all this money, but there's pride, there's country, pride of our nation. and we don't want China to be the first one to have it, and all this kind of stuff, and we got to support our people and blah blah blah. But the IOC is literally just in it for money, because they could easily just transfer it to, say, the United States or some country that is further along with vaccines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. So, also, that's why last year, before the Olympic got postponed, that was like a battle. So which says let's postpone first. So Japan didn't want to say that first, because if we say that, we have to pay a lot of money.
It's
Yeah,
like
that's why
it's like
we
breaking
kinda
up with someone.
Exactly. We're waiting for IOC says that.
So the IOC who said it first? IOC?
IOC here.
I remember that last summer that it was a debate about they're going to have it or not. And it seemed like insane.
We were talking about it here on the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I guess the Olympics are next month. I don't know. And it really went down. It would have been amazing if neither one said anything and they just had it with like 4 countries showing up.
And then you got these swimmers who are training at 4 a.m. like they have an Olympics, and they could have been eating donuts for a year. So,
So what's the deal? Is everyone coming? Is every country coming?
Actually, yeah, because they're gonna have a special visa that they can come to the country with their staff members, and but Olympic Village is also twisted.
Okay,
that's the biggest joke. Yeah,
I want to get to the Olympic Village, but first we got to take a break. Kaplan, we are part of the World's Smartest Podcast Network. That is Dr. Andrea Jones-Roy with the Ask a Political Scientist podcast. Yeah. Andrew Heaton, Professor Andrew Heaton with what's his Political Orphanage. There's too many politicals in all of these. And us with Lost in America. Also, Andrew Heaton will be touring with me a bit around Oklahoma and Texas later this year. So you can come see both of us doing shows together. Very exciting. The way World's Smartest Podcast Network.com. Check us out. And, of course, get tickets to our show July 31st.
Can we add? We're always looking for new people to join the network, new smart people. And I saw another doctor has just come out of prison. So perhaps Dr. Bill Cosby wants to join the network.
Well, listen, he's a comedian. He's a doctor. He fits the bill.
He really fits the bill of what we're looking for. So we'll have to talk to these people.
What is he a doctor of?
I don't know. A doctor of Jello? I don't know. No, I think he got an honorary PhD from some university to let him let him once give a graduation speech to teach kids.
And he uses that as a doctor?
Yeah, doctor of pulling up your pants. I don't know. He tells doctor. Yeah.
I mean, what a colossal blowhard. You spoke it. We gave one speech. And they gave you an honorary doctorate at like Temple or Michigan.
I mean, maybe he got a degree. I don't know.
And then you use it for the rest of your life. Kaplan. All right, now let's get to a word from your local sponsor. All right, we're back. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Saku, excuse me. All right, let's talk about the Olympic Village. I want to talk about the rules. There's some crazy rules because they can't. So they have fans at these games, but it's limited. Are they going to do the cardboard cutouts like they do in America between the seats?
Yeah. I mean, I just read the article like the bed for athlete, the bed flamer made by cardboard. Did you read the news?
Wait, the bed that they sleep in at night?
Yeah.
Made out of cardboard? What does that have to do with
people
coronavirus?
Can't get coronavirus. Cut down on bed bugs, I guess. But
no, it's it's more like for SDGs, like sustainable. So
it's sustainable. That's hilarious because so many of these athletes, especially the American ones, are big time environment people, so they can't complain. If you say like cardboard sustainable.
I guess so.
Wasn't it going to injure them though? I mean, aren't they supposed to be taking care of their bodies? I
mean, can you imagine like Giannis Antetokounmpo sleeping on a cardboard? Well, he can't play anymore.
None of the top NBA guys are going to the Olympics, right? Because they don't want to have to quarantine and all that stuff.
I mean, Booker is a lot. Some of them are.
Yeah. No.
The new top NBA players are going.
Yeah.
So they're sleeping on bed. Yeah, they're sleeping on cardboard.
Do they know about the cardboard bed policy?
I mean, the homeless guy down the street from me sleeps on cardboard. He's fine.
Kevin Love can sleep on cardboard, but Devin Booker, no. Anyway.
And then they have to be in. They cannot arrive. These athletes cannot arrive to Japan more than 5 days before the Olympics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why they had to walk out in their main country and should arrive Japan really last minute.
5 days. And
Yeah.
is that even
yeah.
enough? I mean, frankly, I've had jet lag last for 2 weeks before.
Yeah,
I don't even know if
so.
these guys are going to be falling asleep while they're running down the track.
That's why probably Asian country has a lot of gold medal.
Wait, that's a huge gambling point as a
Yes.
gambler.
Yeah.
I knew
The
Kaplan's
home-
eyes would line
Yeah,
up with that.
Japan and anyone in the same time zone. I have to look it up.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet on all of them.
Taiwan,
Australia.
Australia. Yeah, they're just going north. They're not going east
Yeah.
west.
That's a good
but-
deal.
yeah.
Or like bet against the U.S., Canada,
Mexico,
Mexico,
the whole
and-
South America. Yeah.
Oh my God, South America! It takes like 2 days to even get there.
Just no direct flight.
Exactly.
Probably. It's like
I've flown from
European
Central
countries
America.
struggle too.
Yeah, I've flown from Central America to China. It literally took me 2 days, and I got sick on the plane. It was a disaster. The jet lag is forever.
Can you imagine you train your whole life for the Olympics and then you get there and you're jet lag. You're about to have your big moment and you're so jet lagged you could barely move.
You're snoozing,
What a nightmare.
trying to throw a shot put, just falling asleep, and then they have to leave 2 days after their event, so they're only allowed to
Exactly.
stay. I mean, I guess if you're multiple events, but if you're in one event, it's a 7-day turnaround.
Yeah, for sure. Also, like I heard in the Olympic Village, hug, high five, kiss, and sex are prohibited.
Hug. Okay. Sex. High five. You're not allowed to high five anybody. Even
No,
in the village.
they can't. They can't.
You can,
They can't high
you
five. Even though
you
they
can
got a
elbow
gold
bump.
medal, they can't. I think elbow would be good.
yeah.
Oh, even if they get a gold medal, you're right. They can't, like, there's no celebrating. What, like on the track or anything?
This is the same rules as my kids' soccer league. All of them.
What
Yeah,
about like judo though? They throw each other on the ground.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
that's more
Or boxing?
contagious.
Is there going to be
Yeah,
boxing?
yeah.
Are they not allowed to
No
clinch?
clinch.
Yeah.
No
They
clinch.
hug in boxing. Yeah.
yeah.
What are Japan's? Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but the thing is, 160,000 condoms will be provided there.
I read that.
That's
But-
nice.
Yeah.
Perk.
Here's what I read. I did some deep researching into this.
This is the one thing that caught Turner's eye.
This was very exciting for me because I read that the condoms will be provided at the end of their trip, which makes no sense. So when they're leaving Japan, the IOC or the Japanese government, whoever, gives them a condom to take back to their home country with the idea of being to promote safe sex in your home country.
Yeah, exactly. Also, like I heard, if you put it, Japanese traditional painting pop up on the condom. So
What?
it's the
Oh.
like
So
if you
it's
put it,
just-
yeah, just like design. Yeah, it's really fancy condom actually.
Oh,
But what's the point of putting a design on a condom? I mean,
I
don't
mean,
know how
it's
you're
the
using
best
your
souvenir
condoms.
actually.
oh, so you're not
So-
using it for sex then? You're using it for to
I guess
blow up
it's just
balloons?
souvenir. Yeah.
I mean, what percentage of these condoms make it off the airplane on the flight home?
I've always been against them because I believe the Olympics should be like the ultimate dating site where it's like you get all of our best athletes in the world together. They should be
Yes.
creating super babies, super athletes,
Yeah.
the mixing of countries together. So
Well, that's
I'm
going to
glad
happen
they're,
now. That's going to
yeah,
happen
I'm very,
because
this is great.
they've provided them with condoms, but they're not giving them to them
Yeah,
until the
I
very
know.
end.
I'm
I
very
think
happy
what-
with this.
I think what happened, and I'm just connecting the dots here, but I think the government decided to give everyone condoms, and then people said, "Hey, we're trying to protect ourselves from coronavirus. Why are you encouraging all these people to have sex?" And they went, "Oh, good point. And then they came back. They came out of a meeting, and they go, "Okay, new plan. We're giving
Abstinence
them condoms
education."
at the end of the trip," which makes even less sense.
Yeah.
So there are
I-
about 18 years from now, like Simone Biles and I don't know, a shotgun put guy from the Ukraine are going to have this amazing kid.
And which country do we get? That's going to be, they could do a shot put gymnast combo. Because I don't think they're going to not have sex, what you're saying. The condom doesn't make their decision. Getting
I
the
don't
condom.
think so.
That's not how it works.
Wake up. It's the 20s, as I say. It's 2021.
And also, if you leave, you have to leave after 2 days. So you're not going to have a long romance. It's like, we got to have sex now.
I
I'm
was
leaving
gonna
in
say,
2
it's
days.
even more reason for people to have sex.
I know. They're like, it's
Oh, I don't
great.
even have
I
to
don't
see you
no
3 days from now.
consequences. and I don't have to wear a condom. I'm excused.
Oh, can you imagine the past? That was a disaster. They had to pretend to date for 2 weeks, walk around the village. Hey, you want to go, like in Beijing, you want to go to the Great Wall today? Then you got to go with his new girlfriend to the Great
Jackie
Wall.
Joyner Kersey and Ben Johnson had to go to the pizza restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, let's go walk around the lake. Now you don't have to do any of that. You're in, you're out.
No.
It's like going to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's the best Olympics for sure for the athlete.
But what about no fans? So only Japanese fans. I mean, this is another reason to bet on Japan. They're going to have the home court advantage in everything.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because foreign fans are not allowed in, right? Like if Kaplan and I wanted to come and just watch, we can't go.
Even though we're members of the media? It's a press pass.
Yeah. So
No,
I heard already NBC people flew to Japan, kind of secretly.
Secretly, the NBC, Bob Costas, or whoever.
Well, what about the family members of are the family members of the athletes allowed at least?
I don't think they're allowed because if we allow the family member to join, many people will be coming and it's gonna, we have to do PCL checkup every day. Then the thing is, the number of nurses is really, really small right now. I mean, we lack
number of what?
Nursing care people like our
nurses,
nursing care
medical staff, medical people.
Yeah. Not
That's why we have to hire people as a volunteer to check up, COVID,
I read
PCL.
this. Yeah. Is it so? While the country, and tell me if I'm wrong, but the country is in a state of emergency right now, right, with coronavirus. But yet the government is taking 500 nurses out of hospitals to get them to volunteer for the Olympics.
Yes.
That's crazy.
That's the craziest thing, actually. Yeah.
Why not get volunteer nurses from around the world? Like,
why does the IOC handle this and they get people to?
Yeah, they could get 500 American nurses to come in, or you could get 100, and you can get 100 from the UK or wherever else, and they get to go hang out. Now, then they're
that's a party.
Not using condoms. Yeah.
Well, they're all vaccinated, those people. So yeah.
That's a party. And
they rather pay the condom. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. I said, the government rather pay the condom than, nurse. Right?
Yes,
so
they'd rather they'd rather pay for condoms than nurses. And what about the rules at the actual games? I heard there's you're not allowed to cheer.
Yeah, but actually, even since last year, professional baseball game has been played.
You've had baseball
in the stadium. Yeah,
with no cheering.
Baseball. Well, we can't. Usually in Japanese baseball game, we sing. We sing a chant for each players, but actually it's kind of prohibited. Just I don't know how to say it, that megaphone.
Thunder sticks.
Sticks. Yeah, yeah.
They've ruined the glorious songs and they make them lame NBA fans now, or American fans. That's I mean,
so thunder sticks are allowed, but no chanting. What about
chanting,
are you allowed to stand and cheer? I read that you're only allowed to clap. Or thunder stick.
Jazz hands?
Like woke people, can you snap?
Probably we just stand. I don't know if we actually cannot stand or not, but probably, if the government or IOC said no, Japanese people follow the rule, basically.
Yeah. Do you know anyone going to the games? Like, are your family?
Yeah, actually, some of my friends got our tickets. And yeah, that's the thing. Even if they got a ticket for some sports like basketball, popular one, they will be determined by lottery if they can go or not, because they already sold more than 10,000 tickets.
Wait, so they have a ticket, but even if you have a ticket, there's still a lottery to see if you can use your ticket.
Yeah.
That's kind of
because they oversold last year.
Oh my god,
they haven't handled any of this well.
I see. No, that makes sense though, because last year the stadium set 100,000 people, and now only 10,000 are allowed in the big stadium. So only there's so many issues I haven't even thought of.
It's so crazy to me because I'm thinking in my head we have fans at all of our stadiums in America, but I'm forgetting when we had 10% of the population vaccinated, we had like no fans, or we had like some places would allow a few maybe, but yeah, this is
Mostly nothing.
yeah, most places.
That's
Yeah,
the
so-
one thing we're kind of forgetting is
yeah,
the
it's hard to
US
go
has-
back.
You know, we've moved. You're in Chicago. The U.S. has moved really fast, getting all these vaccines out, and you almost forget that the rest of the world is not on the same pace. They're not moving at the same speed as we are. So, does it seem like in the future Japanese people are going to get vaccinated, or is everyone giving up? They're just like, well, no one wants it. So,
Hopefully, end of this year or next spring.
I mean, you can't
They
do
will get
anything if it's
vaccinated.
only 10%. Because I know Australia is having real trouble getting their people vaccinated too.
So how many percent? About
I
how
don't
many?
know
Like
exactly,
20?
but it's somewhere around that. It's 10, 20, something like there. And so what's the plan? Just people never get vaccinated? We just see what happens?
I mean, Japanese people are willing to get vaccinated,
okay.
eventually.
Yeah.
But, first, all the people, elderly people and the younger generation. And there's so many elderly people in Japan, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
they do.
And,
You have a famously elderly population. Yeah. No, I mean they do. The statistics they always talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
They have an
right.
older-
And
They
they
do have
gotta
an old-
register, basically. They gotta register. Then the government asked them to do it by internet, but they don't even know how to use computer.
We had that problem.
Yeah.
So it took so long, forever.
You guys have boomers too?
A lot of boomers
Yeah, for
in
sure.
Japan.
Yeah, boomers in Japan. But we don't say okay, boomer though. We respect. So,
They respect their elders.
Respect the boomers.
yeah,
Oh,
we
wow.
cannot say okay, boomer.
You just made a lot of fans from our listeners.
Our listeners love that. Yeah. What about the sumo wrestlers? Are they getting them vaccinated? Because they're high risk.
Actually, that's the thing. In Japan, first victim of coronavirus, like a first person who died of
Who's
coronavirus in the 20s was sumo wrestler who got diabetes. So
Really?
that's why sumo industry are really, really afraid of getting COVID.
I would imagine.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure they have their own rule. Each we call it house. Each small
Yeah.
house has a
You mean their
Their
training,
own
their
rules.
training facility where they live, where they work? Yeah.
yeah. So
about
they
is-
cannot even go to drinking. Don't go drinking, and they cannot even.
Oh, that's
Go
no
date.
good.
It's
How do
hard
they
for them to
stay
maintain their weight. Yeah.
fat? Is sumo in the Olympics? Because
I don't think so. Good. Japan and Mongolia.
I
There's
know,
not enough
but I've heard
countries.
that every time you host it, you get to add a few of your local
Oh.
sports.
Yeah.
They should add. It would be amazing to see just like fat white guys from Kansas try to do sumo, and just
Yeah,
get
but
thrown
some
around.
white sumo wrestler was so good, before.
Really?
Yeah, like Hawaiian and Georgia. Georgia is like a European country,
Yeah.
and the Bulgarian, they were savage.
Really? There's Bulgarian sumo wrestlers?
Yeah, but one guy got bald, so they cannot even have that special hairstyle. They retired.
Oh, really? Wait, they retired because they couldn't get the hair?
Yeah,
What?
Wait, so he went
I think he's making
bald,
this up.
which happened,
yeah.
and then he
Or
was
ended.
because of shame. He had so much.
I don't know. They
personal
cannot have a special hairstyle, right? So
You're talking
specific
like
hair.
the what do we call that, Cap? Where it's like it's
The
long
mohawk?
haired,
Mage-
but
mage.
it's
Yeah,
top.
Like a-
It's
No, it's like a mohawk.
bun
yeah,
bun
it's
thing,
tied and shaved.
yeah, shaved on the
sideways
sides
shave.
like a bun on top.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know
So
that.
one
I didn't know
bun.
if you didn't have a man bun, you can't. If you can't grow one, if you lose all your hair, you have to retire. That's tragic.
Yeah,
That's shaming.
they're not
Okay.
hipster anymore.
We'd have Kevin Durant would be out of the NBA. What about how's comedy going for you? I know I've looked you up, I know you live in the U.S., but you've toured Africa. You went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, all around Europe. Where did you tour in Africa?
Uganda, Rwanda, and Kenya in 2017.
How was that?
Actually, I realized their comedy scene is really, really big, and they know how to enjoy themselves.
Really?
Yeah, their stand-up scene is more like a Def Jam comedy. So every single stage has a DJ or a drummer. Then when comedian says punchline, DJ goes doom. Yeah,
What, really? During your joke?
yeah.
How does
So,
the DJ
but
know when your joke's coming?
actually, we didn't even have a rehearsal. So when I deliver joke, DJ goes to doom.
What?
Yeah,
But what if you're
that was
not like a
fantastic moment.
one-liner comedian? What if,
I
like,
mean, yeah, DJ has to be busy.
Can we get that? Can we get a Japanese DJ for our live show to help me out?
It's African,
Yeah.
Kaplan.
Oh yeah, sorry. Help me out either way.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't think that would work in like American style comedy because people are telling long stories a lot of the times. Your story's being broken up by a guy like DJing.
Yeah, at least we have to do the rehearsal.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what about your act specifically? I'm very curious about this. When you're in Japan, are you doing it in Japanese or doing it in English?
Yeah, actually, I did it in Japanese when I was in Japan, but in front of expats, I did it in English.
Okay.
But for example, 2019, I performed in the biggest rock and roll festival in the world
Whoa.
in Japan. So like Bob Dylan, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Kendrick Lamar, Oasis. Then I opened up for The Cure, the British band, for 1 hour.
Wait, you opened for The Cure?
Yeah, for 1 hour.
what year was this in?
Was it?
In 2009,
2019.
Oh,
Yeah.
19. Oh, you got to wait
19.
back together.
Yeah. In front of 40,000 audience.
40,000?
Yeah, that was the first time to do that in my life. But
Wow.
I don't know. That was also first time to get ignored by 40,000 people in my life.
They all wanted. They didn't want comedy.
I can't think of a worse comedy audience than 40,000 people going to see The Cure.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're not. They're like Monday that falls
Right.
apart. Tuesday, Wednesday, break my heart. They came to cry. They didn't come to laugh.
Yeah, boys don't cry for sure. Yeah.
And Bob Dylan
yeah.
fans
Did
too.
you wear makeup? Did you look like Robert
They
Smith?
did it. Yeah, Robert Smith was Robert Smith
Did you?
still.
I would have.
No.
played the part.
I got up as myself as the very first stand-up comedian in the festival.
And you did it in English or Japanese?
Yeah, actually that time I did it in Japanese because I saw most of the audience were Japanese.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah. And so what type of joke do you open with when you're performing with The Cure? Do you do jokes about The Cure?
Oh, I don't. You don't want to roast those guys.
I made some joke about other musician who just got arrested because of cocaine.
Oh, that's good.
But I still remember like everyone was like,
Oh, really? They were not
I
interested?
completely bombed. Honestly, that was a mountainside. So outside the venue, so it's mountainside.
even
So there's
more
no
difficult.
internet connection, no internet service. But I saw a bunch of people somehow use the phone, swiping me left all the time. That was horrible.
I saw a Japanese metal band one time when I was
wow.
living in China. And Kaplan, you'll love this. This is how metal they were. It was the most metal thing I've ever seen. At the end of the set, their keyboard player smashed his keyboard.
Whoa, that's
Yeah,
hardcore.
we only have guitars. People smash guitars in the U.S., but we don't take it to
Yeah.
the keyboard level. But it was amazing. I was like, I think he's smashing his keyboard. He took it and was just hammering it
It's weird to see a keyboard in a metal band, but
onto the stage until it flew apart. It broke into a million pieces. I was like, that's the best band I've ever seen. The music I didn't care for, but the smashing,
stagemanship. Yeah.
yeah, it was very impressive. Wow, 40,000 people. And
yeah.
so I would have done maybe a Cure joke or no, maybe you make fun of the Smiths. You go the other way. You take on one of the rivals, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So
Just
what
don't make-
version of Oasis was this that you saw? Was it
It must have been just Liam Gallagher.
one
I
of the
think, right?
brothers, probably, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
So
And so what about in America? Is your act different than it is in Japan?
completely different actually. Yeah, because my job in America is, I don't know, tell my perspective and based on my life as I call myself Lemon actually, because there's some Asian American comics which is really great. Then they're called banana somehow. You know what I mean? Like yellow on the outside, white on the inside. I don't think it's a good word, but I don't think I'm a banana. I'm more like lemon because both outside and inside of me is yellow, right?
Yeah, and a little
Yeah,
sour.
but Yeah, exactly. Yes. So I can be sour for American people based on my joke. And, I'm a little bit Americanized. Like I have some white part inside too.
Yes. Oh, like the seeds.
Yeah. That's my job.
And what about audience-wise? Do you find, like, Japanese audience, are they now accustomed to stand-up comedy? Do they react the same way an American audience would have been watching it?
They're so passive compared to American people. So that also like no one knows stand-up comedy in Japan. So that's why my job is to build up stand-up comedy culture from scratch. That's the reason why I wrote the book, and I keep performing even though I bomb in front of 40,000 people.
You're still performing for 40,000 people.
Pretty impressive.
You must be good just to even get asked to do that.
Do you know how to handle those Japanese businessmen when they get out of hand? The audience?
Oh, yeah. Do you get hecklers? People heckle in Japan?
Actually, no. That's why I got surprised, when I got up on stage in Chicago last year, and one of the audience members yelled at me like, "Hey, Corona," or something like that.
What, they said, "Hey, Corona" to you?
Yeah.
Because
But that guy was drinking.
Because you're
Heineken.
Japanese? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Doesn't
so. Yeah.
Because he thought you were Chinese?
I mean, whatever, like Asian.
Yeah,
That happened to me.
Yeah.
Can I tell you that? Last year, so I lived in China for a long time, and I mentioned it on stage. I was like, "Oh, I lived in China for a long time," and somebody goes, "Ew, coronavirus."
Yeah.
It was like last February maybe, and I was just like, "Can we stop for a second and everyone realize how racist that is that this person just said?" That was bizarre when that was happening. Yeah. So they said that to you. Some guy just stood up and pointed at you and said coronavirus.
Yeah, I mean, he just said, "Hey, Corona," but that guy was drinking Heineken at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I called the waiter and I said, "Please bring 5 Corona beer for that racist."
Yeah.
And
good
who
way to help.
pays? Yeah, Mexico, something like that.
So I get it. Yeah, what you're doing in the U.S. is telling people about Japanese culture. Your jokes are about being Japanese, but in Japan, they don't care. They're all Japanese, right?
Yeah.
So you have to switch
So
the
that's
act.
why it's more like observational humor and based on our daily lives.
And then what's your favorite audiences, American, Japanese, or from your African tour?
Well, African audience was super energetic, so I cannot forget about them.
I would love to go.
Yeah, that was really nice moment. But I still like American audience here because, like you said, I get even I can go back to the stage every single night right now. And in Chicago, show business has been back for sure, and ticket sells out really quickly. So I have missed it so much.
Yeah. And you moved to America. Did you move here for comedy?
To
do comedy. How did you pick Chicago?
Yeah.
Actually, I performed in New York and West Coast too. Then I just fell in love with Chicago because Chicago's comedy scene reminds me of Osaka. Osaka is also comedy capital in Japan. Then I did a Second City. Second City?
Oh, really? The Improv?
Yeah. Then I was in a fellowship too, and I started performing in Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I started doing.
That's great, man. Well, where should people check you out? Where your website, or what's the best place?
Yeah, sakuyanagawa.com or my Instagram, Saku Yanagawa.
Yes. Awesome. And when will you be performing again in Japan? Do you know?
Actually, I'm not sure if I can go back to this year's Fuji Rock Festival, but I'm pretty sure next year. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to go back and do it with The Cure again?
Yeah, so much fun.
The Cure is waiting for
Gallagher.
me.
Nice. All right.
When is Japan going to be opened up? Because my kid really wants me to take him to Super Mario World, and
nice.
Got to get that place open.
2022, maybe once Pfizer fulfills that vaccine order.
All right.
Yeah,
get vaccinated, people.
That's it.
Yeah,
all right, Cap.
for sure.
That's it. What should we do?
We should get lost.
Get lost.